Hey everyone, welcome back and happy Thursday, which means happy Real Housewives of Orange County and Miami Day. I mean, I'm always a little indifferent about what we're going to get on OC, and that's okay, but Miami never disappoints. And we have Adriana Demora who is teasing that this is going to be one for the books. So if that's the case, then yeah, bring it on. Anyways, we're not back to talk about that. We're back to talk about OC because we have some major custody situations and things that are giving updates that are being given. And I'm like, okay, as somebody who's not feeling fantastic, I like the updates. It keeps me on my toes, it gets me going. So smash the like button, show some love, and let's jump right in. All right, guys. So you know that this has been, both of these stories have been a big part of the storylines on The Real Housewives of Orange County, especially when it comes to Gina Kirschenheiter and Travis Mullen. Now she's giving a custody battle update with Travis and his ex. I think that this definitely sounds like this has been a freaking nightmare, of course, because this has been an ongoing custody battle. Her name's Megan. There are certain things that I agree with and don't agree with, I guess. One, obviously, there's always three sides to every story, but two, it's not necessarily fair that they have a platform to be able to talk about a lot of this stuff and she doesn't. So I'm wondering how much of it, since we don't really hear from her, is as accurate as it's being told as. Just wondering. Now, they did move back in together, Gina with Travis, but the court has ordered that Travis and Megan undergo psychological evaluations as part of a full child custody evaluation to really help them determine custody and visitation arrangements. And the evaluation, it's going to include interviews, psychological testing, home visits, input from teachers, therapists, family members. This sounds like a freaking nightmare. Now, they're going to share the cost of said evaluation, but Gina said that Travis had not seen his children for several weeks, and it's been really stressful for both Travis and Gina's children. I also don't understand how that works in a custody situation. Like, how can she just be like, oh, well, you don't get to see your kids for a couple of weeks? What? Like, how does that work? Especially with everything that they're claiming about her. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm so confused. The kids apparently have been crying and they miss their siblings. And Gina says that they consider themselves a family, a big unit, a little Brady bunch. And being separated until you have to go to the system, it feels horrible and unnecessary. And Travis's children, they recently returned home, but this was prior to a planned family vacation. And yeah, apparently his ex disallowed her three children to go. And Gina says that she hasn't seen them in a couple of weeks. And she said that the situation, it's not fair and it's hurtful to the children. And it's always going to be like that too, by the way, as somebody, which I've always said this, who is a product of divorce, you can tell, by the way, that I'm not feeling good. Like, I don't know what is going on right now. But it's the kids are always collateral in these situations. It's always, like the parents fight and the kids are collateral. And that just sucks. It's never fair to the kids. But she indicated that the co-parenting with Megan, it doesn't seem likely. And she said she's been given zero indication that that's even what his ex wants, period. Which truly, that's sad. There used to be, and I've learned now I don't really talk about the family, but there used to be, I had a stepmom who would, when she would get upset, she would take my phone away and she'd be like, you can't call your mom. You can't talk to your mom. And it's like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, if you get grounded as a kid, I lived in a different state. If you get grounded as a kid, you don't take away the phone privileges to talk to the other parent. Like, what kind of, but it was always, well, that's the only thing you care about. So that's what we're going to take away from you. I'm like, well, that's a stupid ass punishment. And I stand by that. So yes, not cool, not fair, especially also in this situation. It's not right. Now, I want to go over to Jen Pedranti because she's celebrating a big win. She was granted sole custody of her 3 kids. She was granted sole physical custody of her 3 youngest children, Grayson, who's 15, Everly, who's 13, and Dominic, who's 11. And that was confirmed in court on September 3rd. So previously, Jen and her ex, William, they had joint physical and legal custody. That was the arrangement. But now he has visitation rights, and he's required to give Jen at least 1 hour's notice before seeing the children, which is a little random to me. Like, the custody situation when we lived in the same state for me was always like I would see my mom on Wednesdays and then every other weekend. So it'd be like Wednesdays every other weekend, Wednesdays every other weekend. And so it was never like you can't just pop up, you know what I mean? So that's a little strange, but I'm sure she also doesn't want to keep her kids away from their dad either, right? So Jen and William, they shared 2 older children as well, Dawson, who's 18, and Harrison, who's 21. And when their divorce was finalized last year, he was ordered to pay her $6,409 a month, of which $4,674 is child support and $1,735, that's spousal support. And she was to retain all interests in her yoga business. And there was also supposed to be a lump sum payment of $267,811, and that was ordered. But I believe, too, when she was talking about this, it was either on the show or in interviews, when she was sharing this, she was like, I still haven't gotten that money. It's not like nobody knocked on the door and said, oh, hey, here's a check. So I'm wondering if she has received the payment since then. I don't know why I'm breaking out in hives right now. This is actually alarming. But she did deny all of the allegations of harassment and impermissible contact with William, saying that she was reaching out always about the children. And she even argued that cohabitation should not void spousal support, saying that she had no alternative after being evicted and that William had failed to pay the lump sum. So in her filings, she's saying her living with Ryan, that should not void spousal support. I agree. I think once she marries Ryan, that should void spousal support. I don't think that you should get spousal support if you get remarried. But if you're just living with him because you got evicted, because you didn't get the money from your lump sum, so you got kicked out of your house and your boyfriend let you come live with him, no. Because at that point, wouldn't people just not pay their lump sums anyways, let the person get evicted and let them go move in with their boyfriend, so then it just exonerates them from paying anything? Like, that doesn't even make sense. I'm on Jen's side on that one. So in the filing, she requested that spousal support remain unchanged. And now the recent amendment shows no change to those support obligations. Well, at least she got sole custody of her 3 youngest children. I mean, clearly I don't know anything about William. And she always says that he was a great guy and they just fell out of love, yada, yada. But it doesn't change you having the obligations as a parent. That's, you know what I'm saying? I want to hear what you guys think, guys. Pop off in the comment section. And also, do you think that her living with Ryan should, maybe you don't agree with me, do you think that it should alleviate him from having to pay spousal support? I'm like, no, what the fuck is that? I don't know. Anyways, again, tonight we have the Real Housewives of Orange County and the Real Housewives of Miami. So get ready for that. And tomorrow, Jason is getting benched for Hot Messy Topics. We have surprise guests. You have never seen them on my channel before. I think we're going to have, actually, I know we're going to have so much fun, but we did change the time tomorrow from 12 p.m. Eastern, which we normally always do Hot Messy at 12 p.m. Eastern, to 11 a.m. Eastern. So just so you guys know, and I will make sure that that's posted everywhere. I love you guys, and we'll see you later.